Hey, it's Graham here with Car Truth, and today we're going to talk about something very, very special. Today we're going to talk about the AMG G63 and the G550 G-Wagons. So today I'm going to tell you the truth about the G-Wagon. The G-Wagons, or G-Class, have a pretty storied history. They actually started out as military vehicles used for the Austrian and German armies. Mercedes got a hold of it and turned it into a passenger vehicle, just like these. After a while, AMG got their hands in one and started making the G55, a V8-powered monster that gave you a lot of luxury as well. Okay? Now, some of the early ones rode just like a truck. They were not very smooth, they weren't very refined, but they still had a lot of prestige. They were still very much a Mercedes. But in 2019, something changed. And what changed was basically suspension. Okay, the G-Wagons underwent a full redo for 2019. And they got double wishbone suspension. They got a whole new chassis and a whole new electrical system, body, everything, to make them a little bit more modern. And so you went from something like that to something like that. Now that's the difference. This is a 2017 and that's a 2019. You can see the big difference between the two. Although they look very similar in overall shape, they are very, very different. They drive differently. The newer ones are wider, a little bit longer, better ground clearance. They are both fantastic off-road. But let's go take a quick little tour of the interior of the G-Wagons, and I'll show you. Now, one of my favorite things about getting into a G-Wagon is when you unlock them, the sound that it makes. It's just so mechanical and so fantastic. Ready? I mean, listen to that. It's just amazing. And then still very mechanical with the door handle here as well. All very mechanical. The new ones are like this as well, and I'll show that to you. But here's our interior. Okay, again, very much Mercedes. Even got little screens in the back there for the kiddos. You've got the same interior features that you would have in a modern Mercedes SUV of the same year. But just like any AMG, your shifter is down here, okay, as opposed to up on the column. And then you've got your screen up here with the command system. Little bits of carbon fiber everywhere, but the big thing is right here, okay? Front, center, and rear locking differentials. This thing is an absolute beast off-road. Not that you would ever take your couple $100,000 AMG G63 off-road. Let's go take a look at the newer one, the 2019. Okay, so here we are at the 2019, and when we unlock this one, we get that same mechanical sound, and then that same mechanical door opening. The door mechanism is actually identical between the two, but as you can see, you've got a much more refined and upgraded interior. Now, the seats have a very similar design, but it's a higher quality, much thicker bolsters here for performance. And then you've got your full digital display here. 2 screens behind a single pane of glass right there. Still have your 3 locking differentials, okay? But again, the more modern HVAC system, all of that. Now, the one thing that you really can get carried away with in this is the sound system. So you'll notice these speaker cover grills here, as well as even up here in the ceiling. In some models, you'll even get one of these a little bit further back with a 4D system, and that is the Burmester sound system, and it just sounds phenomenal inside this car. Now, the other thing that everybody loves about the G-Wagon is the sound, so let's go ahead and do that here real quick, because you can always tell a G63 by where the exhaust tips are. So there they are on the 17, there they are on the 19. Just an absolute beast. One of the best engines that AMG has ever made. So that's kind of a basic rundown here on the G63s. Now, one of the things, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give you a little tour here while I talk about this. One of the things about the G63s, just the G-Wagons in general, is how good they are off-road. I would put a G63 or even a G550 against any Jeep, any Range Rover, any modern Hummer other than the H1, because that is just an insane military vehicle. But they're amazing. The thing is you don't really get a whole lot of people that are looking to off-road in their G63. Okay, because they don't want to ruin such an expensive vehicle. Again, this car is a lot about the prestige of owning one. And right now in today's market, there is no 2022 model available. So there's a few leftover 2021 models, and we won't see 2022s until very, very late this year. If they're even going to be 2022s, we suspect they'll actually come out as 2023 models, because Mercedes is not producing very many V8s this year due to a lot of reasons, emissions and supply chain and things like that. So people are paying upwards of $300,000 and more for brand new ones. This peaked back in like December, January timeframe, and you know, if you're in the market for expect to pay a premium. You know, this 2019 that I'm sitting in right now is about $225,000, and that's about 50 grand over its original MSRP. That is not unheard of. It's very, very expected because of what these cars are worth and that prestige. I mean, people from obviously the Kardashians to Lewis Hamilton, if you're a Formula One fan, have been seen in these. These are the vehicles that celebrities and athletes and people that are very high up in society purchase. This is that vehicle to them. You know, when people get famous, they all want to get a Mercedes, or you know, a little bit higher, and this is the pinnacle of Mercedes. This is the most expensive Mercedes that you can buy right now without going to a Maybach. So I don't see that market going anywhere. I think that this G-Wagon market is going to be high for a long time. Even after the regular market kind of dies down a little bit, this is still going to be high. In 2019, when this new body style came out, you could almost not find a single one at MSRP. Most were selling at 20, 30,000 over MSRP in places like Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Miami, places like that. I saw prices upwards of 100,000 over MSRP back then, and now those places peaked at about 150 to 175 over MSRP, and 175 over is double for what these cars are actually, what the MSRP is on most of these. You can get them up in the 190s if you really kind of engine covers, things like that. But you know, here at my store, fantastic vehicle. If you've never been in one, never driven one, if you've been thinking about getting one and you're comparing it to something, don't. There's nothing to compare it to. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to compare it to a Range Rover SV Autobiography. Completely different cars. Or I'm going to compare it to a Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Completely different cars. There is no comparison. You kind of can take a Range Rover and mix it with a Jeep Wrangler, and then mix it with the power that you get out of a regular V8, twin turbo V8 Mercedes, and you kind of put all that together into one amazing package, and that's why they sell so well and why they're so popular. Let's have a discussion in the comments about the G-Wagon. Tell me what you think. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're ugly? Do you think they're gorgeous? What do you think of these interiors? Leave me some comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be updated on all of our latest content. Again, this is Graham over at Car Truth. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Talk to you then. Bye.